It is America's oldest surviving newspaper, founded in December 1877, covering and dishing opinions on the most fascinating and dysfunctional city in America, Washington, D.C. Covering what happens inside the Beltway would be enough to drive most people mad, but the Washington Post has stood for generations as a bastion of fair and investigative journalism. Of course, that is not a shared opinion by all. Despite their 47 Pulitzer Prizes, their global notoriety for being the investigators that uncovered Watergate and brought down a crooked president, and their numerous investigations that have slammed politicians and criminals with every and no political affiliation, the Post is considered by many to be a decided left-leaning media outlet. And the recent purchase of the paper by Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon.com, did nothing but fuel the fire. Bezos has donated thousands over the years to Democratic candidates. He is a staunch supporter of gay rights. And those two facts have right-leaners believing there is nothing to be trusted about the Washington Post. But is that any reason why a candidate for the highest office in America should ban their reporters from covering his campaign because he's upset about what he perceives as a liberal bias? Your phone calls and your comments will close out today's show at 1-877-Newsmax, 1-877-639-7629. So you need to be lining up right now. First, let's go ahead and set this stage about the Post with John Bachman. John?
Well, Ed, the old chestnut goes, never quarrel with someone who buys ink by the barrel. How about picking a fight with a guy who not only buys ink by the barrel for the Washington Post, but has a net worth 6 times the size of Donald Trump's reported net worth? Of course, that man, as you mentioned, is Jeff Bezos. He's the new owner of the Washington Post, and him and Trump are in a little bit of a scuffle.
I think the political press is among the most dishonest people that I've ever met.
Donald Trump now escalating his love-hate relationship with the media to a new level. His latest adversary, the Washington Post, owned by Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos. At issue, a headline that read, "Donald Trump suggests President Obama was involved with Orlando shooting." It was published in response to Trump's criticism of the White House's ISIS strategy, or lack thereof. On Facebook, Trump called the headline dishonest and phony. The Post has now made a change. The headline now reads, "Donald Trump seems to connect President Obama to Orlando shooting." Still, Trump is also directly taking on Bezos, accusing the Amazon CEO of using the paper as a tax shelter and for political propaganda.
He bought this paper for practically nothing, and he's using that as a tool for political power against me and against other people.
During the campaign, Trump has also barred other news organizations from his events, but Bezos and the Post editors, which includes Bob Woodward of Watergate fame, are fighting back.
That's not an appropriate way for a presidential candidate to behave.
Trump's war with the Post is another example of what some might consider a distraction from the real battle against Hillary Clinton, while she's been more than willing to use his other sideline battles with other people like Megyn Kelly and Judge Gonzalo Curiel from the Trump University class action suit to paint the GOP soon-to-be nominee as unfit for office.
He is not just unprepared. He is temperamentally unfit.
Well, it's important to mention that the Washington Post, of course, has assigned a team of dozens of reporters to write a book about Donald Trump that will be released, I believe, in August of this year. Should be interesting reading.
Never quite seen a battle like this before, but then again, we haven't seen a lot of things like this before. Thanks a lot, John.